Alright, so I got my hands on an old snowskate, and it's in pretty good condition, but it could be a little bit better. It's kind of got some loose trucks and a bunch of other things. So today what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking it apart and refurbishing it a bit, get it in some better condition for this winter, and I can start messing around with it then. Thankfully here we've got a lot of Allen keys. We should be able to find the right one. That's it though, right there. Okay, so now we've got the bit. Take these off. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so there's the ski. Okay, so that's this. So I'm going to want to disassemble everything, including the trucks, take the trucks off the ski. I'm also going to want to, here's the bottom of the board. So I'm going to be cleaning this up, resealing it, and making sure this is good to go. Alright, so there we go. It's all disassembled. I guess these would be the base plates. These would be the base plates, these would be the hanger, but it really doesn't strictly matter, either or, I think. This is the ski, pretty good. One thing is it is pretty scratched up. It's got some deep gouges in it. I might need to do some filling if I'm picky. I don't think I'll be that picky though, but I would like to get it smoothed out a bit. So let's see what we got here. Okay there, so aside from the deepest scratches, that ski should be pretty good and about ready to hold on to some wax. I know if you get a proper ski shop will do something that'll do large concentric circles or whatever to get a nice surface for holding wax. But for this, just the large circle or the tiny circles from the orbital sander should probably do just fine. So there's the ski. Let me get the top cleaned off too. That should be ready to go. As far as oh yeah, look at that. It's got a stain from a puddle. That'll give you an idea of how long it was sitting with the water on it. It stained this plastic with rust. Okay, so let's take a look at this nose here. Let's just go ahead and get as close as we can. So I'll use a screwdriver and this screwdriver will nice wedge it open. A lot of times you'll have, like if it's a longboard and it got curved, it'll have to pick out splinters and stuff, but this seems like it just is delaminated from flexing or something. So I think it's actually, I can actually just go ahead and put glue in it and clamp it up. I'm going to go ahead and use Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue is waterproof, but it does not do good for filling gaps. However, it doesn't look like there's anything in there that's going to stop it from being able to close all the way. So I think we're good to use this. It's so difficult to hold it open and hold it up with one hand. Okay, there we go. And I'll use the blade, the razor blade to feed it in, make sure it gets all the way in. Okay, and then we just get a bunch of clamps down on it, and that should be it. So that's the nose. I'm going to call it clamped up. That should fix the D-lam. Just gotta not touch that. Okay, now let's move on. What I gotta do is I've got to clear coat this whole thing so it does not develop any more cracks, it does not split, it does not D-lam. It's in pretty good shape, but it's not in perfect shape by any means. So, what I'm gonna do to start off is just clear coat. Okay, so it's the next day. This got 3 coats of lacquer on it. It's not enough to really do the job permanently, but that's good enough for now. It's got some pretty deep cracks, but everything that's touching the surface should be all right. This glue should be dry. Really, this glue is the main reason why I had to wait overnight. So let's see here. So I should be able to just sand this off, and it won't take 2 seconds. So you can see there's still a tiny spot where it's not sanding. So that means it's not completely down, but the gap is really small. So it's basically, hopefully, as good as new. So there's that. Okay, so the other thing I needed to grab that I didn't have yesterday was this waterproof silicone grease. And silicone grease is excellent for 2 reasons. A, it's waterproof, and B, it's really good for plastic on plastic, especially sliding. So the silicone grease is going to be really good for these joints. It won't attack the plastic, and it'll stay stuck on all the pieces of hardware. So let's start by getting everything put back together. There's the hangers on the ski, or the base plates, or whatever you want to call them. So we're ready to put the other pieces back together. So take a tiny bit of this grease, spread it around everywhere where things might be touching. Just want to make sure that there's enough that it helps keep everything nice and functioning smoothly. Hopefully this is where it'll pay off, is on the bolt. Keep water off the bolt. There we go. So it's really tight and they're still really smooth, so that's good. So next thing is this. All right, there we go. It's back together. You see how it operates is it pivots on those 2 points, which allows the ski to flex so that when the nose and tail go down, the center can come out. And you know what? I'm not entirely convinced it's really all that well designed with the curvature, the amount of side cut it's got, and how much flex it's got. But you know what? It can't be any worse than the other snow skates out there. The one that Riley had, I think, was pretty bad, and I think this one's a lot better. So there we go. Let me take a look and see if I can grab some cardboard real quick. Here we go. Got some cardboard. So this will just allow me to visualize. I'll be able to step on it, leave an imprint, and visualize what's going on with the side cuts. So instead of standing on it, I'll just kind of lean on it. Like that. Yeah, and you can't really see very well. So that's the line it made. Yeah. So that's the turning radius of the ski on the snow skate. That's not a lot. I suppose it's what? Let's see here. I mean that's about 6 feet. So I'm guessing that's a 14-foot radius, which is quite small, or quite large for something that's supposed to be emulating a skateboard. Imagine a skateboard where you can't turn any tighter than 14 feet. I think normally about 8 feet is what you might want if you're dinking about. For a ski, like a downhill ski, this is actually a small radius. I think it's, I can't remember off the top of my head. So the way skis work a little differently than skateboards. So if you take the ski and just going straight, it's basically at zero lean, right? And at zero lean, there's basically no engagement, so the turning radius is null. And you get on an edge, and basically the turning radius kind of stays close to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then once you get around past 60 degrees is where it starts kind of going like that. So it's kind of a function like that. And then as you go to a 90 degrees is what approaches going the opposite direction. Whereas on a skateboard, it kind of is almost the opposite of that function. So basically, a lot of it has to do with slop, but basically you get most of your sensitivity at 0, where the board is around flat. So this is the most sensitive turning position. And out on the edges is the least sensitive turning position. On the ski, it's completely different. Flat is the least sensitive, to where there's like there's a null radius if there's no edges engaged. And it goes all the way up, and it can engage, I mean, theoretically all the way up to 90, but 60 degrees is about where the ski is starting to do its thing really well. So it's very different from a normal skateboard. You would never lean a skateboard out to 60 degrees. But when you're skiing, you're going to be bending your knees, and you can actually bring your foot out to a really high angle and carve around, making some really sharp, small radiuses. It's a totally different dynamic. But basically, the radius of this thing is not that good for a skateboard form factor. So that is among the things that we've been experimenting with over the past several years to try to solve. We'll see how this one does.